So we're looking at a cam, crank, injector, and coil command on a 2007 Silverado 2500 with an LQ4. It is a GMT 800. They also, 2007, they came out with a GMT 900. I guess you'd call it the new body style, which it isn't new anymore, but at the time it was. This is a Gen 3 LQ4. The GMT 900 would have a Gen 4 engine in it, which would probably be an L96 or something like that in one of these trucks. But anyway, for the gas engine, there's some differences in them, the control system and, you know, variable cam timing, and I think you could also get active fuel management with them too at that time. But anyway, let's stop this. So this is a good pattern here. Let me scroll it over here. Okay, so I've got my fuel injector here, I've got my coil here, I have my cam position sensor here, and it's doing, this is a good pattern here, but this is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's coming up 12 volts, it's staying up high. If you count these up, you're going to have 24 12 volt rises on the crank position. In between, you know, 0 volts and 12 volts, you're going to have 24. You're going to have 24 back here. Now how this beast differentiates on the crank where the hell number 1 is, I have no idea, because I really don't see any difference. But there's enough there, somehow there's a difference in there where it knows, and I don't really care at this point, because all I wanted to do was see if I had everything. Now this is the good capture that I took. On the crank no start capture that I took, my fuel and my spark were shifted way back here. It was firing and fueling and firing at the wrong time. So the cam position sensor had shifted. I don't know what goes wrong with them, but they do. And of course I had suspected that, but I saved that capture, and then after I replaced the cam position sensor, I went ahead and took a good, you know, pattern so that I could save it. And then so if this happens again, it's an easy way to verify it. And I say easy because, you know, I got a 4-channel scope here that I can use. I have 2 4-channel scopes actually, one that I don't use because it's PC based, but I'm probably going to get that set up so I can use it, because I want to be able to zoom in and a little better than this old Modus does, but it gets the job done. Anyway, where was I going? Oh yeah, so this was a crank no start after a hot soak, and you know, it was pretty consistent at doing that. But now that I have I know what it's not supposed to look like. It's not that hard to, especially on those trucks. The PCM is right on the mounted to the fan shroud, so you can get at it pretty easy. You can back probe it pretty easy at the PCM, and you can pull your signals off. These aren't all that expensive, so you know, I could have just replaced this. It would have ran fine, shipped it out the door. But you know, there's 2 ways of doing things, and I think this is more the right way, you know, but some people might have a different opinion. So I have my good scope trace here that I can, you know, I know what it's supposed to look like. I know where on my cam signal my spark should be. I mean, I don't really care about the injector, other than I just wanted to know that my signal was there. You know, I know this was running about 6.5 degrees advanced, so, you know, is number 1 right here? I don't know. That must be where number 1 is, on the end of this cam here. So I got it so I can take a quick peek at it if I want to, you know, if I'm not in the mood just to toss apart. You know, I want to actually verify that my cam position sensor is skewed. And I also did all the other checks, you know, checked my couple of grounds on there, G103, I think there was a G102, a G103, you know, with a bunch of grounds on it. I did all my ground tests, you know, first off, which doesn't take very long. You want to verify all that. Otherwise you work backwards. You know, some people work backwards. They'll start here and then work backwards. I like to start at the beginning and, you know, check the basics, and then before I mean, like I said, these aren't that expensive, but if you don't need one, why would you want to replace it? So anyway, that's all I got.